So I'm gonna just make this quick video cause some people are genuinely just brain dead. So the first thing I want to talk about is OC fallacy, which I've actually talked about many times on my community post about why it's just blatantly stupid. But I'll do it again so that it can actually reach out to more people. So, for one, what even is OC fallacy? There's no actual definition to it at all, because it simply doesn't exist as a fallacy. But let's take it as the idea that if a character is made for the intent of power scaling, anything about the character holds no meaning. Now, there's a lot of problems with this. The whole idea of this is quite literally a non sequitur fallacy in itself, as it's literally trying to make a conclusion, which is that of character holding no meaning, from the premise that the character is made for the intent of power scaling. The premise and the conclusion simply have no correlations to each other at all, so you can just denounce the idea of an OC fallacy as a non sequitur fallacy. The next thing I want to talk about is how YouTube goons are genuinely obsessed with the idea that if the character doesn't have feats, anything that they have stated about them simply mean nothing. Now, this is actually just complete bullshit, especially if it's not just some epistemic claim by the character in verse, but rather it's actually the ideas written by the author themselves. So these ideas can actually be applied to whatever character it is in the verse. To say that the statements mean nothing, it'll have to be justified by showing clear contradictions to the nature of the character, otherwise the claim just doesn't hold any weight, we can just dismiss it. So now, let's talk about if a character in verse talks about the nature of something instead of an author. Let's take the idea of divine simplicity for example. If the idea of divine simplicity has already been posited within the verse, it will be quite obvious that it's not an epistemic claim made by the character either. So, simply saying that something scales nowhere because it doesn't have feats but only statements is just clear ignorance and nothing more. And that's about it, so yeah.